Alright, we got my team Ans on the right playing red 4. We got Patton's team on the left playing red 4. Their sub is in Hunter instead of Random. Our sub is in Nandemini instead of myself, but I'd consider him the actual player, not me, because I have played 1 game out of 7. So I am definitely more like the sub. I do not know what happens during this game, so we'll see what happens. Probably going to be zoomed out most of it. This map is pretty much you attack where the enemy takes longest to get to, and then you keep it, because they took longer to get there. Helicopters on the far side, Bravo Alpha, Juliet India, pretty much what you're going to see. It looks that way too, I'm just looking at the deployment. Although Red 4 is doing, well, left side, CCD is doing a lot of vehicles instead of helicopter defense. That's weird. Okay. 7.5 minute deployment. That is really long. Holy shit. Right, let's look at these units. 1 CV. Really? 1 CV? Where's the others? Okay, 2. Really? Where the hell did the other CVs go? Can't. Okay, 2 CVs over here. I think that they're doing the right thing, bringing it to the +2 sectors. Who cares if the enemy gets a +1 sector? It's a waste of CV when there's plenty of +2s to go around. Alright, this side has 1 CV at the base, 1 CV in a helicopter, 1 CV on wheels, 1 CV in a helicopter. So this team will be up +2 if no CVs die, but they're behind in attacking units. Also, red side has 2 FOBs and a Buratino. Blue side has 1, 2 FOBs as well, and a Buratino. Pretty standard play. Alright, let's see what happens. Wonder who bought planes. Got a helicopter assault on the south side towards Bravo. Got 3 ASFs from Patton. Holy shit, he did not want anyone to have anything flying around his stuff. Helicopter attack by Fadeway to Juliet, but there's no anti-air helos, so that's gonna get wrecked, especially when it's spotted. Again, Faust using helicopter attack. The enemy has a Tunguska and the Strela as the only AA. I don't really think that this went well. So pretty much exactly what happens. Helicopter attack, but the red side didn't do that. I'm going to slow it down to see the other part of the map. I think this is way too many units in Echo, just because it's +1 versus everyone goes to the +2s at the start. USA AKs did wonderful. No, they did terrible work. They didn't kill any of the helicopters, which are flanking, which is going to be a problem for this +2 capping concept. So they're behind by 4 because of this error. Yeah. Something that I'm noticing is that a lot of people could just send helicopters all the way around to Alpha, because no one puts AA there for some reason. Buratino gonna try to hit. So this is gonna be more of a ground fight. There is no tank. Oh, T90S, I spoke too soon. Verse UM. With the BMP3s, so this T90S could be in trouble, but MiG-27s should be coming in to mop up super heavies actually. This helicopter should be moving, could have flanked and probably hit the base. Patton brought out a second CV. Uh-oh. Some wasted points going on here. It's no good. Probably getting stressed out over all this crap over here with the bad start. Helicopter's taking too much ground. Okay, these units. This is not the right tank mix. You're not going to want light tanks like that on a push like this. Man, that's shit. Unfortunate. Tunguska out in the open, definitely recommend never doing that, because targeted planes will take it out without any hesitation. Although it could be good bait for all his ASFs. We got a MiG-27 coming in. MiG-27M for Nandemini, that's weird. Testing it out, I guess. T90S goes down to that as usual. BMP3 is going on this UM. Side hits. Both miss. Ooh, very unfortunate. PD does not take out the plane. Anti-air goes down. Both pieces. Holy crap. That is really bad. good luck. Blue side had some good luck. This 24D staying on the ground, I think they forgot about it after seeing all this crap. Yeah, Faust is looking at his helicopter attack group, which I probably would have refueled just because they went back off the field. PU, not going to do too much. AKM's killing the 27. That did kill the UM though, so it paid off essentially. PU might go down. No, good. Shouldn't. Alright. BTR 90s fighting stuff that don't have any support. So 72A should have been brought over here if anything. If they saw stuff over here. I didn't notice if they saw the units land. Tunguska should be targeted down. That's the only AA left, and typically that's how it usually is. But I think this Tunguska is going to kill all 3 helicopters. PD coming out for ASF duty. Let's see. Ooh, 28's even firing at the wrong targets. He's flying away though as soon as he sees it. So you see this, there's no AA. That was the one that was brought up, but a helicopter would have been much faster. Tunguska shot second time, looks like it missed. No, it hit this guy instead, the 24V. 27M coming in. PD might stun it. Tunguska should finish. MI-28 goes down. As the V goes down, all 3 helicopters, as I said. Yep, okay. Fighting over here, MTV gets passed. Buratino did not get used at all. That's even weirder. So red side did take Juliet as usual, but Nandem and I got a helicopter through to go screw with the enemy. So blue side has +3 advantage due to capping these. So red side could have capped over here, would have forced out a bomber, which meant, you know, your ASFs should have handled it. So I think they should have capped that. This really should have been brought here a lot earlier. I think Patton was multitasking way too much to notice it on time. What do we got? Bertino coming in a safer route. Actually, wow, there's nothing here. Red 4 could have brought anything they wanted. Okay. PD doing ASF duty. Yeah, pretty standard. Gornostrelki from Mike, probably in an MTV. Yes, cheer up. This MTV probably brought that. Okay. Gornostrelki, pretty decent unit, especially when they're up-vetted. I would actually get these up-vetted 55% at veteran, just hit almost always. Wow. Patton was moving his CV around a lot. Probably afraid of bombers, but honestly, I think that you don't have to worry about bombers when you have 3 to 4 ASFs and you control the skies because the enemy hasn't bought ASF and beat yours out. Especially when you lose it to the 27M to a PD and Tunguska. I think that he was a little bit too cautious. Although if it did get killed, it would have been a huge deficit. Buratino getting used a bit too much on that sector. Is it? Yeah, right. You only get 1 anyway. So it's always up-vetted. Missing the GRU squad. Very lucky. So it'll spot, but it won't get fire support. Definitely not. UM taking it out. And people use the UM mostly because of that off-road speed, 80 km/h versus 65. So this vehicle will chase and pretty much wreck your day. And if you want to chase it back when it's low, you got to deal with its ATGMs, which will be able to do good damage. So I think that these guys should have moved up a little bit, at least with the BTR 152 to spot, just to know that the enemy has nothing there. They're playing cautiously though. They paid a high price to get in there, and they're getting ready to push again. They really should have brought a CV to Delta. Hunter has recon. There's an MI-24D in their base. That was because, as I said earlier, people don't typically put AA or recon on the sides like that. And this is what usually happens. I was very lucky that 24V was there at the base. Might have been called out. Gornostrelki versus Spetsnaz. I think that the Gornostrelki, nope, they're going to lose if they don't start shooting at that BTR 90. MTV fire support definitely going to wreck the infantry. BRDM3 stacked, one of them visible. They're both visible. So that's a waste of Could be taken out pretty easily, actually. MTV flying around, V is going to take it out. Yep, so the combat over the ASF duty is probably going to end up in the red side's favor, just because one PD is not going to do too much. 27M, 30% ECM, a little 900 km/h. MiG-27 is still pretty good, even though it's a little bit more pricey now. It's still worth it. Does very well. 10% ECM for 10 more points. That's all that you're really getting. Also, like the Gatling gun, the cannon on this thing is still the same. I'd rather have... You have better range on the 27M, so it will pull out a little bit quicker after both missiles are launched. That's not necessarily what you want with such a good Gatling gun. UM's moving up. I think that this is a mistake without having enough AA, especially if the enemy has ASF superiority. PU taking out Vs, that is hilarious. You see this? That's a bit risky though. No, nothing going after the AKM. He loses it for flying over Iglas. 24 going after the AKM, takes it out. MiG-27 takes out one UM, as expected. And as I said earlier, one AKM is not enough. It gets away scot-free, didn't even take a hit. And it's used up all its ammo, so this... Oh, it's because he couldn't see the UM. Very lucky. Very, very lucky Blue 4 player. Mi-24V going after this Buratino. I don't think that it's going to survive, so it's not going to... Yeah, Buratino's safe. Still scary though, if you play it wrong. Make sure that you kill that, and he did. Buratino's safe, see? Nice to have a lot of armor. 27M, it's a bit too late, isn't going to be able to do anything. Kill the AA piece. Nope, goes after the BU, takes it out. Pretty well done. See, it does almost the same exact thing as a 27. 10% more ECM, maybe worth it, who knows. Need more testing, you know? UM, gonna get attacked. It will die, there's guarantee, there's no AA. Well done by Patton, like, just making sure that the skies are his so that he can bring the planes in to support his team. Yeah, blue team did very bad with controlling the skies through anti-air. Igla squad may not be enough because this V will use the Yak B. Nope, using it on GRU, so there you lucked out. The GRU got hit first instead of the Igla. The Igla would have died if it got hit by the Yak B. Buratino gonna fire again. Good control on it, 9 to 10 missiles at a time. These guys are in the town, VMF. Probably could have been moved out to spot differently, but it's safe over there for now. Again, part of the main problem is that they finally put a CV in there, but that should have been there a lot earlier. They had the ASF, they shouldn't have worried about bombers. And they could always just do what they just did. And it would have been, you know, suiciding a plane for a possibility of a CV snipe. So I think that they should have capped it earlier. And bring an Igla squad with it, you know, it's the safest route. It's really easy to get there, it's, you know, you'll spot whatever's coming at it, you can use a plane to take it out. Patton did really well with his planes. I mean, just the trades, I expect Patton to have such good kill-death ratios on his planes. Nothing else really happening, waiting for units to come in. Trying to push up, but he has no recon, it's not going to do too much. Bringing his tank to counter cap Bravo, stop the bleed, but it's a little bit too little too late kind of deal. I think that Red 4 should have had fast vehicles go around over here, just because of how concentrated the pushing was. But it's hard to tell. I mean, most people will put something around here early on. SU-24, gonna look for some radar units and find none. But it will get hit in the face multiple times, yeah. MiG-27, I don't know what it's attacking. What is it attacking? Seriously. Very, very risky. The Igla squad missing. Buratino firing. I would have actually fired almost all of it when I know that the CV's in there, just to make it get off the cap. So in general, don't use a Buratino all shots at once, but if you are trying to do something very specific and like look at the points, once it's out of ammo, you're not going to do anything anyway. So situational, but general rule of thumb, 9 to 10 per shot, do a salvo of 9 to 10 per area that you want to hit. Another rule of thumb, don't leave a vehicle next to an infantry squad in a city. It's a clear sign that something's in there. And because of that, you can also think that you can leave a vehicle there and fake out the enemy. It's wonderful little mind games that you could play with your opponents. Tunguska doing work on these planes, that's unfortunate. Probably won't get too many results with this VDV squad right in front. He needs infantry in front of his otherwise it's gonna meet an ugly fate. Ooh, 2 MiG-27s. He wants that thing down. Goes down, kill the Osa, come on. Yes, misses it entirely. What did he go after instead? Something that wasn't as valuable as an Osa, I believe. Didn't even go after Tunguska. Very poor targeting choices, but okay. So that T-72K, still able to do whatever it wants. Another Buratino getting called in. BU on the field, so this will be unopposed for a little bit. SU-25 from Patton, that's interesting. It's a very good plane. It's hard to use because of its speed, but it does have armor. It's pretty useful though. Very cool unit with those 240mm rockets. Ooh, where'd the UM go? BU went back into cover, turned off weapons. So that's another tactic. When your tank is able to shoot at stuff and you don't want it to get spotted, turn off the weapons to avoid getting spotted so that planes can't take it out because of spotting mechanics. The push over here is ZPTUs for fire support. That's pretty funny. MiG-27s will take out this T-80. ZPTUs will not fire at it. It'll survive probably. Ooh, it was still spotted. GRU doing work. MTV's getting called out. This GRU squad staying alive somehow. This should be brought up. Just to fire when paying attention to that 25 when it's too far back. Push it out, fire. Morskaya Pagoda transport's getting taken out by a B1. A lot of headway was made into Juliet. I think Juliet's gonna fall. Just looking at all the units here. This BTR-90 will kill almost everything here, depending on what happens. Buratino, good use. Moving that squad, so he's gonna be losing points pretty hard. BMP-3, interesting unit. Kind of expensive, but could be useful. It's nice with an armored deck. Although Red 4 does not have lacking. Holy crap, BTR-90 drove by a GRU squad and did not die. Wow. That is unfortunate for Fadeway. MiG-27 getting hit, B5 dropping its payload, taking out most of the units. Left the VDV squad though. So the pressure is still on at Juliet. This is much better using transports, getting infantry up front. Buratino firing. It's gonna miss this T-72K. Probably took out a bunch of stuff though. This CV getting killed will be the end of the game. And this is, I believe, the end of the game. Yeah, okay, we'll see this push instead. CV executed. This CV is gonna get attacked, but see, this sort of stuff should have happened a lot earlier. Should have probably been okay with losing, securing this, being a little bit more secure there, and then just pushing 3 people here, while planes and recon handled this side. SU-25, I don't know if it killed anything, but there's no AA, so who cares? Alright, that was just probably a very poor strategy at the start. They gave up way too much land. That was the real problem. They were negative 200 within 5-10 minutes. It's never a position you want to be in on that map because it's so easy to get behind or ahead. All right, that was the game Ans vs CCD.